doing it. You supposed to be happy you sitting there with Kid L. Why you mad?
The Kid L Podcast.
Rocking and rolling. We have Ashley Sorrell in the building. How are you doing today?
Hello, finding you, Kid L.
I'm doing great. Your voice is magnificent.
Thank you.
I'd say in Michigan, you have for female artists, you have one of the most distinguishable voices and so pleasant to listen to, but so deep, impactful, and emotional as well.
Okay.
A lot of your music brings out different types of feelings for me. I met you because you did a lot of work with Sada, baby. You're on a lot of tracks with him. I met him. I heard your voice on a song Sada, and then I was like, "Are you kidding me?" Like that was the first break where I was like, "What is happening right now?"
Yeah.
And then I just started listening to your catalog and seeing that you have your own singles and your own music out, and it's super, super well put together. Like you're very serious about your production.
Absolutely.
You've been working since 2012, so we can kind of start from there. But even if we want to go back to baby Ashley, you're from Detroit.
I am from Detroit.
You're from the East Side, right?
East Side.
Talk about growing up a little bit in Detroit.
I feel like Detroit has honed my style of music because we listen to so much. Listen to like the Friday night, the mixes from like the 92.3 to old school music, Motown music. So I think we were submerged in so much. My dad listened to a lot of music, had a lot of records. I became a record collector now. So, and growing up in church, so it was just so much that I learned, not necessarily as being taught how to sing, but just being pushed out there to sing and just learning my voice. So right now, I'm still polishing things, still learning different things, still trying different things. But I think it's important to make sure it sounds good, then I put it out, whatever it is. I know a lot of people are like, what's your genre? And I'll just be like, whatever it is today, whatever you hear, that's what it is. I can't really pinpoint it because then that takes away from being an artist for real.
Yeah, the best artists and musicians and bands are almost unidentifiable when it comes to what genre they are.
Exactly.
Right? Like, it's hard to just say this is this.
Yeah.
So you grew up with a lot of influences. Did you grow up with mostly female influences, or was it just music all around?
Music all around. Listening to the radio, you just hear anything. If it sounds good, it just you gravitate to it. So Luther, Whitney, Anita, of course Aretha. Everybody though, anybody that sounds good is like, okay, I might take something from there because it's just what you're used to hearing and you learn it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
With the type of music you put out, like it can work with any type of style of music, right? It's interesting to see it work with Detroit rap music. It's very interesting to see it go there and work there.
Yeah.
And like you said, you're not trying to classify yourself into one genre, but why haven't you put out something where, like an album or something where it substantially shows like this is what the catalog is going to be?
What do you mean catalog is going to be?
Like, even though every single song does, sound kind of different and everything like that, you can cultivate something where it stamps your identity for that period of time at least. You know what I'm saying?
I think I do that. I put out music that's congruent to how I feel in that moment. I don't feel like... I guess I'm in a space where when it comes to an album, then that would be that piece. But the music that I release is what I feel in that moment. Or if I feel like some stuff I put out, months later, maybe a year later, and it might be that time for it.
Yeah.
So it's not a thing where I think I have to put out something to be like, oh, this is her sound. Because then that kind of like still boxes me in. But I understand something being, I guess, more consistent to what somebody is used to hearing.
Yeah.
But I don't want that to be what people is used to hearing at the same time.
Yeah, it's interesting. So even taking it back to 2012, that's kind of when you started releasing music, right? And so from then till now, you've been kind of like giving people gems, right? But staying low key at the same time, where it's like not like a full press mode, but with the talent and the ability that you have, and even the people that you've been working with, like, do you feel like a consistency effort would change everything for you, or you're not worried about it?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Consistency in life, period, changes everything. And that comes with the people around you, and it comes and starts from yourself. So it's been spaces that I've been in where I took a break, not necessarily by choice, you know, feeling like something is going to happen from different areas, and then it probably didn't happen. So I was like, okay, I got into a mode where I stopped music. I didn't release music for like 3 years. So I think Nectar was the last thing I dropped, and then now I just started back dropping this year.
Yeah.
So it's like, I feel like I'm playing catch up. And then I get into a space where, okay, I can't just let the shit just sit on my hard drive. I can't just wait for somebody to be like, okay, now is the time, because it's only going to be my time when I'm making my time. You can't pretty much make somebody else make, you know, your shit pop. Sometimes you have to start pushing the needle first, and then they be like, okay, maybe it is time to, you know, jump on it and do more. So I try not to let things frustrate me anymore. I'm in that phase where I was like, okay, let me start back pushing my own shit.
Yeah, because it's like you were kind of scouted from like major figures in music, right? Like even Royce has your back, right? So when they're seeing you and saying you got it and like putting you on tapes and everything like that, it's like it shows that you have the ability to be at the highest level.
Absolutely.
And you don't want any of that to go to waste, kind of like, so you're very particular about it. But now that you're kind of saying like you want to have to take control of it now and not wait for anybody else to kind of...
Because I feel like I have.
Yeah.
And I feel like there, if to be honest, have been wasted opportunities, for the lack of better words. But it's just like, you know, there could be things that other people have in their mind of how to do things. And it's like you have to try to like understand that as well, especially when it's people who have been in the industry and know how things move, per se. But it's like at the same time, you have to still at least do something to have that consistency you was talking about, to stay out there.
Yeah.
So I think I'm back in that phase where, and I think the people around me are in that phase where it's like, okay, let's get it going.
Yeah. You know, when you look at, let's just say somebody has an eye for your music and is interested in helping you move forward in any type of way, right? They might co-sign you, or they might say, you know, I'm going to help you, I'm going to make things happen. And then they don't even realize they don't even have time for that. But they believe in you so much that they want you to know they believe in you, but they don't have time like as much as they thought.
That's a perfect explanation.
So you kind of like, because I've been there like tons of times, and I'm like, okay, you know what? I got to just keep it moving on my own, regardless of what's happening or what you're telling me. I'm going to keep it moving on my own.
Absolutely.
You came out with this song, Vegetarian. Like, when I saw that, I'm like, this is one of those videos and songs where it's supposed to have like 1.5 million views opening weekend. Like, no joke.
Yeah.
Like straight up, everything about it was just like exquisitely done.
Thank you.
Like that's what blows my mind when I see stuff like that. And I'm like, okay, wait a minute, what's going on right now? This doesn't make any sense. Like, you should be up there already.
And that's how I feel, you know. And that's what I'm saying. Some shit you sit on for a while, and then it comes out at the time, and it's like, oh shit, what you da 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 da. But it's like, I can't continue to wait. And I have to try my hardest to try to figure out different ways to push myself and push my music to where it hasn't been. And then it's like I say, either people are going to catch on or not. But it's important to release music. It's important to not hold yourself back and be accountable and not really point fingers, because I mean, that's not going to do nothing but keep you stagnant.
Yeah.
So Vegetarian was produced by Brian. He goes by Black Liquid on Instagram. And I don't know if you know Finch. Sid Finch is a videographer. He shot that.
Is he from Michigan?
Yeah. And I think Colin was also with him, helping him with the shoot. And he came with a treatment for it. I didn't know where the alligator came from, but... You know, they was like, you should hold it. I'm like, for what?
Yeah.
But I did, and it came out pretty well.
What?
I was like, why? I was in it, that shit was moving.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, but it was cool. It was a cool experience. It's different, and I like to try different shit. You know what I'm saying? None of my videos look like that. So I was like, well, let me just try it. That's the point of being an artist. That's the point of seeing where different things can take you. And I'm open to it. I'm open to anything that I haven't done, because, you know, either it's going to take me where I haven't been, or, you know, the same place. But it's worth a try every time.
Yeah. It's like, you're a true artist at heart. So for you, anything that doesn't match with what you're thinking inside probably doesn't seem to work. But sometimes we gotta realize that other people are artists too. But some shit does gotta make sense.
Yeah.
Some shit does gotta make a little sense. Like, why am I
does.
doing this again?
That's
like,
what I was saying. Why the
is
fuck this alligator here? But fuck it, you know. And then I learned it's like for aesthetics or for what his vision might be for it. You know, I'm like, oh, I'm down to try it. The shit ain't gonna bite me. You know?
There's a balancing act between like what you really want to do as an artist and some things that you have to do because people like it. They like seeing it. They like hearing it. So sometimes you have to do things that you want to do personally for yourself, and then sometimes it's like, okay, the audience wants to see something fun and creative and exciting, so you got to give them that too.
But I don't think I necessarily had that perspective for this one, in a sense of what the audience wants. I think I took it or approached it as what the audience haven't seen.
Yeah.
And is what I haven't done. And how they receive it is how they receive it. Yeah. But yeah, I believe that I pretty much listen to or read things and like my comments, and I hear like, oh, this is more my vibe, and I ask why, because I'm inquiring to know why, because even that style of music or like my melody and my tone is different from actual like singing. So I'm like, okay, what would you like about this? And I pretty much take in things, for what it is and receive it or throw it away, whatever. But I be wanting to know stuff, so I ask.
Yeah, I respect that. That's like I kind of wish I did something like that where like I consciously would ask people like, hey, like, what am I doing? What do you think I could do differently? I don't do that until like I'm like my back's against the wall. I'm like, everything's got to go wrong for me to ask somebody what's going on. But I respect that you reach out and communicate with people about your ideas.
I think you have to, in a sense of, if you feel like you're wondering about it, just ask. Now, I don't necessarily be like, what you think I should do? Da, 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 da.
Yeah.
Unless I'm in a room, if I'm in the studio, like if I'm in a studio with Royce or Sada or somebody, and, they say, you should do this. Royce would be like, you should add us another layer of this. And it's like, man, I didn't think of that, but it's worth listening to it, because if I do, I could just take it away or keep it. Yeah. So you have to look at it like, well, you have the final say so. And I don't mind trying something. If it works, it works. If it doesn't, then, I take it away.
Yeah.
Or live with it.
Do you ever get angry?
I do.
You don't seem like the type of person to ever get angry for some reason.
I do. My temper is crazy.
Is it? I swear, I've seen you 1,000 times, and I've never seen you even get close to angry. But I was like, I don't know. She could be just like really calm looking.
I'm just cordial. I don't engage in things I don't need to. The other day you saw me. You was like, you just sitting over here in the cut. And I just be chilling. I don't really feel like being too in front of anything. I'm not always out anyway, so I don't like being out and shit. So if I'm out, I'm just like, let me just chill, and just take in the environment. I like to do things with a purpose. So if I go out, I'm gonna look for a reason or something that I can gain from it. And use or learn from, or like implement music or something. So I do a lot of things, but if I'm outside, it's by choice. I went outside all day. I was like, I gotta come here. So it has to be a reason.
What is it that are you like a homebody, or are you just like a person who finds ease in isolation?
People are different. Energies and all of that stuff. I had to make sure that I'm prepared to be around certain energies, because I don't know what's going to come, and I just don't want to be in spaces where I do show my irritated side and stuff like that, because then it could feel cold. I could be irritated and mad, but there's no reason to be for no reason.
Is there anybody that you're around that absolutely can never make you mad?
I don't give people power to make me mad, but if people say some weird shit or something, I just be like, what the fuck you talking about? Like, why? And then I just kind of like shut down. Then you feel the energy to like stop talking to me or something.
Yeah, right. Leave me alone.
Yeah, I ain't gonna be like, man, get the fuck out. Like, because that's not my personality. I don't ever want to make anybody feel, something from my words. But I think my energy and my aura project that without being verbal. So, Yeah, I'm pretty cool for the most part.
Taking it back to when you started making music, take it from here, and what do you feel like your pivoting
Okay,
points?
take it from here. Okay.
Yeah, we're talking. Oh,
Okay,
we're
Jordan.
going back some, son. That's when I like started shooting music videos personally myself.
Yeah.
So around that time,
Yeah.
talk about the pivoting points from that time.
That was when I came back from college, and I was working with Lennox Price. I got that song with Calico on there. So, I was just, that is more neo soul, and that's kind of where I think we were around that time. I can't remember, was that 2000, what year is that? 8-ish or whatever. The sound of music was so different then, and I feel like that tape was like a lot of Jill Scott type vibes, neo soulish vibes, and I was really learning myself with that. Writing wise, like Marsha Ambrosius shit, it was like a lot of that type of music out. So I feel like I was in that mode around that time, and just creating. We were in like a fucking garage and creating shit. Like the mic here, he's sitting here, the shit shutting down. Like, damn, we got to take a smoke break because your shit about to blow up. Let's give it a break. But it was a fun time because it shows a time in your life. And I appreciate that time. It was like music off of the internet, like stealing beats and just not stealing them. It was like a little website. But that was a cool time. It was like 2008, some shit like that after college.
How did that gradually, if you could walk us through the timeline of that, get you to your next pivoting point where you felt like you were becoming established?
Shit. I don't even know what came out after that. My memory ain't that well, but I believe that opened me up to writing more and creating more consistently. In college, I was doing playing basketball and shit on a scholarship. So, what came after Take It From Here? I think I dropped a lot of stuff from Atlanta. So, that was Designer. What other songs was that? Like The Help, Call and See. I did a lot of those, and I was shooting videos out there. It was actually a videographer out there. She's a woman. What's her fucking name? Visuals by Philly. And I shot a lot of videos with her. So Atlanta really grew me up as a woman. I was out there protesting. I was watching documentaries because I was pretty much down there alone. You know, when you go somewhere from Detroit to being in a space where you don't have that comfort, to just go home to granny house, mama house, cousin house, you just find yourself placing yourself in different things and growing. I was going to how I did Smooth Up. I think that's a pivotal move song. That's what Royce heard and got his attention. I was at they have like beat battles out there. And we don't have that. We don't have that type of stuff here. If we do, I don't know shit about it, and that's not good. They have a beat battle. It's called I Beat Daily. So, like 30 minutes or something before that starts, they have a section where songwriters and shit can play their music or whatever. So I went up there and played some shit. I met a woman producer named Tasha Couture, and that's how I got the beat for Smooth Up. But the thing with that is, I went by myself, so I had to be like, go ahead, just go. I had to like make myself do it because I don't have anybody to go with me. But if I don't, then I wouldn't have had that opportunity to even be able to come back or be heard by Royce or whatever. You know what I'm saying? So it helped me be independent and be more adamant about my reasoning for being there.
Yeah.
And that's when Smooth Up came. And then I think I ended up coming back in 2018. Then I would drop a couple things, and then Nectar was a pivotal song for me. That grocery store video by Clark. So now we're here.
What was the conversation like when Royce reaches out to you? Like, is it just like the song's hot, like let's work together?
What's funny is Travis Chandler actually is the reason I feel like Royce heard my song. he told me that he was in heaven, which is his studio, Royce's studio. That's the name of it, and he was just playing it like in wherever he was playing it, and Royce would just be walking by and he heard it, and that's how he heard my music. And I think somebody sent me a tweet of him. He wrote it like Ashley Sorrell with those little firework things, emojis. So it was just starting to see that he's hearing me. And then he FaceTimed me. I think Chad FaceTimed me. He was on the phone. And then he flew me back home. And the first song I did was Stay Woke off of Book of Ryan. And he was like, yeah, just see what you can do with this. It was like nothing. He didn't give me any direction or anything.
See what you can do with this.
So I just had to listen to the shit. I'm like, okay. And it was called something. And I was like, what does this mean? And I can't remember the word. And he's like, shit, you made me change the name of it to Stay Woke or whatever. Then I went back home. He flew me back out. And that's when I did Godspeed. And then 2018, I just came back. And that's when I was doing, different songs for his Allegory album. And he got Grammy nominated for that. So it's just making a choice to put yourself in positions to be in positions. And like I say, being out there and going to that beat battle is what brought me back here. So I'm appreciative of that.
If it gets Grammy nominated, does that mean you're incorporated in that, right?
Yeah, because I'm on the songs on it, so it's like everybody is a part. Features, engineers, producers, everybody's a part of the album because they were a part of the creative process.
That's insane. Mm-hmm. So you're working in the studio together, and what are you kind of learning? Because this is pretty much the mainstream at this point. This is like the highest you can get as far as production and talent and people you're working with, right? What are you grasping from all this working at these levels?
I am grasping that I'm the shit.
Facts.
I am grasping that, like I say, even when you read comments, you see things, whether it's his music, Sada music, anybody's music, that what I do on those songs stand out. And it's not a thing where I'm like, let me get on this. It's just people knowing that what I can do, and then I just deliver.
Yeah.
So it's a grateful experience to even be able to deliver and to be able to be around people who appreciate what you do. There's a lot of times where you can send people ask for features, or you send some shit back, and they be like, "I want you to do, nigga. How you gonna ask me or tell me what to do in the feature?" You know what I'm saying? So I'm grateful for them to be like, leave it as is for the most part. Like I say, they never have told me to change something, or if it's to change something, it's to add something. It's never really to take away, unless like on rappers' music. It's not too singy. So that was one of the things that I had to like collect my ego and spirit about, and being able to receive things and understanding that it's not your music. Understanding that this isn't needed for this, even though it sounds good, because whatever I do is going to sound great. But that doesn't mean it's necessary for this song. So it was just certain things like that helped me grow in that way, and I'm still growing in that way.
Yeah.
And that's major because, when it comes to doing stuff for other artists that may be on that scale, you might have to tone it down a little bit, still be you, but not do everything because it's not your type of music.
Yes.
So it's understanding that and, just figuring that out.
Yeah, because there is an element of making music. Like even me, I play drums in a band, and I used to think like I have to play throughout the whole song. I didn't realize that space that you give it, the times where you don't play are just as important as the times that you do play.
Absolutely.
So fitting into these songs and making it work with these songs, it's like, it had to have been challenging, obviously. You're on like straight up street rap gangster songs sometimes. It's like, how do you fit this in? But then you would come in with these melodies that's just like, makes it feel soulful and almost like some way where it's a perfect balance of the street and also the tragedy of the street. So that's kind of what I get sometimes when I listen to your voice.
Yeah. And I'm still understanding how to receive how people hear me as well. That's another reason I inquire about stuff, because I want to know.
Yeah.
Because it's like, okay, that's I never maybe thought of it like that. I think the challenge, I guess, with being on, because Royce and Sada is totally different type of rappers.
Right.
So I think it's the material that is the biggest adjustment. Sometimes when I'm with Sada, I may go on the track first, but a lot of times if he goes in there, it kind of guides you to see what he's feeling for this song, and just create whatever comes out. And I think with him, like you said, he punches in, he creates so fast. And it's like, damn, let me figure something out for this motherfucker be moving to the next song. And it's a challenge. So I like that. And I think we come up with some pretty good stuff.
No, you guys are legendary together for sure. Yeah. What? So you were making music before him, obviously, right?
Hell yeah.
Like a long time before him. I even remember seeing a post he made one time that you were one of the reasons he even got into making music. I remember it captioned you and said that like a lot of people don't even realize Ashley's the reason, blah blah blah. And I was like, oh, no cap. So I'm like, that's interesting to hear. Talk about watching his journey from seeing that you were part of the influence of him making music. If I got that correct, I don't know if that's 100%, but I remember seeing something about that.
Outside of me even being proclaimed as an influence, his transition from where he was is beautiful to see, because that's my family, that's my baby. So I always want the best for him outside of music, with music, and he has achieved in a major way from the city to transition into the industry. So I'm very proud of him, and we grew up together. So we did do things. I'm sure he would talk about the, back then they used to have the tapes with the singles, the instrumentals, and so we had like the Mace Looking at Me song, and I had the Home Alone little thing where you recording it, and we made a song off of that. So we kind of it's like, I guess it manifested into this, and I'm appreciative of him saying that. Because he says that for like the singing part, the singing part of his music, and it makes sense. If you're around somebody, if you hear somebody who is at a level where it can help you learn, even if you're at a certain level, it's like, okay, we can all grow from each other. So I believe he takes it from that perspective, and I'm appreciative of him saying that.
Yeah, you're right. The singing aspect of it, because there was some singing emergence from that. And also to see, like, when you were releasing your singles and you were releasing your music, I would see a lot of people comment on it that were artists from this city that were on the rise as well. And did people probably do reach out? Because you don't do many features with rappers. That's what I noticed.
You know what's funny? They don't.
They don't hit you up?
No.
That's kind of weird.
I don't get a lot of feature requests unless Wayne hear the shit and be like, no, this shit ass, I'm not going to give it to her. That could be a thing, because I don't really have time to. I mean, I can make something, but it's like I don't feel like wasting my time. I don't want to take your money to do something that people going to hear and be like, why the fuck she, But I also like to do things for people who have potential. It doesn't matter like a followers or anything, because that shit is not real.
What do you mean it's not real?
Followers and all of that shit, like the amount, and doing things based off of who they supposed to be and stuff like that. If it sounds good, it sounds good. But yeah, where the fuck are the rappers? Y'all don't want a feature from me? I ain't gonna fuck you up that bad. Just, I think it's something.
Well, yeah, I think it is time to kind of look at music and start bringing the actual soulfulness in it back, and actually bringing like the substance in it. I'm kind of over it, man. Like I realize right now this is the hardest time for me to be a part of hip hop and rap, because I grew up listening to like 90s to early 2000s,
Right.
a little bit of 2010s, and then at one point I just realized like, holy shit, I don't understand what's going on anymore. Like I'm literally sitting here and I'm like, I don't understand it anymore.
Yeah.
And I'm not mad at, and I'm not blaming, and I'm not looking at them like you're doing something wrong. I'm not looking at these new rappers like you're doing something wrong. I'm sitting here like I literally just don't understand it anymore. My little cousin, he's like 20, and he pulled out his phone and he started showing me a song of this artist he listened to. And you ever seen that meme where It's like an uncle listening to his son rapping. It's
Yeah.
like, wah, 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 wah. I'm like,
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
legitimately what happened. I'm listening to my cousin show me this new rapper, and it's like, wah, 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 wah. And I'm like, this is a joke,
He
right? You're
probably,
playing
this shit crazy, ain't it? Like,
yeah, and that's what he said to me.
no,
He's like, you don't get it, bro. You don't get it. And then I sat there and I was like, oh my God, I don't get it. Like, I legitimately don't understand this era of music at all.
It's very cringy. It's very unfortunate. What is acceptable? The trajectory is so bottom tier at this point. And I believe that I think we're in a shift. I think we're in the beginning of a shift that's going to get back to not hearing the same fucking shit all day, even though the radio is fucked up because they paying for these spots. But it's the sound of people that sounds the same every day. Like, all the babies can be bunched in one, you know, because they are consistently doing the same thing with auto-tune or whatever. And it's to the point where it pierces my ears.
Yeah.
Certain sounds, and I'm like, I gotta turn this shit off. You know what I mean? Where the motherfucker be like with the headphones, and he be like turning them off, taking the headphones off. That's how I feel. I turn the radio off, or I change it, or sometimes I just don't listen to it at all because it's not beneficial. You don't gain anything from it but being irritated.
That's how I've been feeling with it. I've tried though too, because I'm a fan of hip hop. I'm a fan of rap. But there just came a certain transitioning point where I was like, okay, not only do I not understand it, but I also don't want to listen to it. And I'm still gravitating to, like I said, 90s and early 2000s and stuff like that. But I was listening to some guy talk about that, and he made a really freaking good point. He said it's okay that right now the popular rappers are succeeding and the talented ones, it's okay for them to still keep working because the talented artists just have to figure out how to become popular now. So the popular guys that have no talent are giving the blueprint for the guys who are talented to succeed. So it's like a confusing time for us because, again, the trash is what's being heard.
Yeah.
But just take what they're doing but put your music out there like the way they're putting it out, or figure out what they're doing and how they're getting themselves out there. Is it going to get accepted? We don't know, but they figured out the system to get their music heard.
And it's interesting what the system is. I guess you would have to do like a case-by-case study, but a lot of times it's also who you're around and who you know. And those things are very pivotal to people's careers in different type of, whether it's music, whatever. Who you know really gets you into certain places besides, you know, your consistency and all the things that you can control. So I think these people I would have to really, unfortunately, do a dive into like, what the fuck was we doing in the beginning to get here? But eventually it was something or somebody that came in, and I guess it's what you have to do to get to that right ear.
And the thing is that most genuine artists with integrity don't want to take those certain types of steps that, you know, would fast forward the process for them. But the problem with not doing that is that nobody's going to hear you now, or the chances of people hearing you now is lower. It's like, you know, somebody could be like, yo man, you should work with this rapper because he's blowing up, but he raps about like violence and killing and stuff like that, and it's like, that doesn't work for me. But if you did work with him, now all of a sudden you have a humongous platform. But you don't want to do that because it's outside of your character. That's just like an example of artists with integrity not wanting to make that sacrifice right at the end of the day.
I think it's anything in life is compromise. Anything in life is understanding the choices you make are going to take you either forward or backwards. And like you say, sometimes you have to try it, because that doesn't mean that's something that you're going to be, but it could be a stepping stone to something. And I'm not saying I'm going to be getting on, you know, a little foo-foo shit just because he has 1 million views. Because like integrity and things will fall, and morality and things fall into place for me. But if I can see something in something, and it's something I could work with, I'm like, okay, that might work. But you have to be that type of person to try that. And like you say, people might not do that, and that might be where they fall because they don't know how to like take themselves out of stuff. I'm learning. I'm in a space where you have to take yourself out of things to be slow to anger, be slow to response, understanding what's really going on taking time to be like, okay, let me breathe. This is how I should react to this. And once you learn that, you take things with more ease and understanding.
Yeah. When you look at somebody like, for instance, like Sexy Red's on fire right now, right? She's blowing up. And a lot of people are confused about it, and some people just love it at the end of the day. If you really listen to what's going on, there is no, I don't think there's a spiritual growth of it. It's probably more just fun and entertainment and what's happening right now.
Yeah, I hope that's what it is. Shit.
But that's success at the end of the day as far as the industry is concerned. You know what I'm saying? How do you look at stuff like that, like the newer wave of female rappers?
I have no opinions about, I don't have any bad opinions about things. I don't put too much stuff into the atmosphere universe because, like you say, you don't know these people's journey to get where they are. Yeah. It's not the song that made them pop. It's what time they took to actually do that because it still takes work. But female rap, I love it. Like Lotto, of course, Cash, Lotto going crazy. Cash, even Coy, whoever. I don't listen to everything as much, but I'm appreciative that they're in a space where it's like the same level as male rappers because they were, dominating they always do dominate because rapping is mostly a male field. But I think it's great to see. Shit, I hope there's more coming out. For real.
Right on. What's the latest projects you've been working on?
I'm working on a lot of stuff. A project, I might drop a little project that I'm engineering. I don't know how long it's gonna take because I'm engineering it. But I think my focus right now is definitely singles and being consistent with that. I've been working with like Royce people, Wayne, and we're just figuring out different things to take it to the next level. You were speaking of all of my music has just been me. All the music that I put out is just me. So I think we're definitely in a phase where it's like, okay, now we have to put something behind it. Now maybe it's the timing of everything. Sometimes we rush timing because we're anxious, we're artists, we're people, we want things to happen. And sometimes things have to happen for things to happen for real. So I'm working on like 3 singles and we're going to put something like a budget behind it for the last quarter going into the first quarter of the year and see what goes, what happens. It's going to be positive results because it's going to be a different push behind it. It's going to be more than me. So I'm excited about that. It's a show. When's the show, Wayne? It's a show coming out October 27th.
Is it music?
Yep, music show. Me, 6 a.m., Nadeem, and I think he said Upshaw. We need to find a female artist. You know what I'm saying? Niggas be putting all men and stuff on it. But it's going to be a show October 27th. And then we're going to put out like the tickets and take a link and flyers and everything for people to attend. I don't do a lot of live shows, but not on purpose.
You would kill.
Yeah.
You would kill.
Yeah.
And there are a lot of venues for like your style of music, which is really cool because you don't take many. Like, do you do live instruments when you perform?
I prefer live instruments. I feel like my music will reach people more than a backing track. I feel like it depends on what it is, but my preference is a live band. It's just my music is feeling. You know what I'm saying? A track ain't gonna really do that. A track is good for headphones and in your car, but on the stage, it's like about the feeling and what you feel from everything being live.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. I've been telling these producers, I have a lot of producers come on the podcast and I was like, when are you guys going to bring back real instruments, man? I really believe, like I said, I'm in a band, so we have 4 different band members. There's a bassist, there's a guitarist, there's a singer, there's another guitarist. Like there's all a drummer, all these elements, and everybody brings a different creative aspect into the music. With a producer, it's almost like they're creating the whole thing by themselves. I know they're doing more collaborations with producers, but it's like, bro, a real instrument changes the dynamics of the music completely. It's like a sound you cannot recreate even if you have like a keyboard in front of you. You know
That's why the music back then is still more prevalent now than what comes out.
Hell yeah.
The shit that, niggas think in 5 minutes. You know what I'm saying? There's no time, there's no love into it, and it's nothing that sticks to you. Like you say, the 90s shit, they was in that motherfucker, the thunk, all that type of shit. And that's why, I'll turn that on before I even listen to the radio.
Oh, hell yeah. I was listening to one of my favorite songs by Tupac is called Straight Ballin'. And there's a bass guitar that's just playing in the background. Fucking phenomenal.
I'm telling you, that bass is crazy. I love bass.
Yeah, at least if they could add real bass into their music again.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what I'm saying about with you too, is because when I listen to, even if you're on a street rap song and I'm listening to your voice, it's adding a whole different dynamic where you're kind of listening and there's it's like it just changed the song almost for that moment at least, which is awesome because that creates like a different timeline of the song. Like it's a beginning, middle, and end, and now I feel like, oh, here was the middle part, or here was the part where I'm supposed to feel more sad about this situation or more soulfulness about the situation. My only hope for you is like just stamping yourself. That's all my only hope, because the music's there, right? The personality's there, the person is there.
What does stamping yourself mean?
I think stamping yourself means like when people hear your name, they know what they're going to get to some degree or what's going on. Or if I'm going to call a female singer to be on my song and I need this feel, I'm calling Ashley. I'm calling her because this is this type of person I'm looking for, a sound I'm looking for. Or if the city does the top 30 female artists in Detroit and your name's not on it, I want to see your damn name.
Problem.
Yeah, I'm like, what the hell is going on? Clearly, I'll look at
it's a problem now. I don't give a fuck what the stamp of what something's supposed to be. If my name out on the list now, I don't give a fuck if I have 5 songs out. For real.
I know it.
Like with the catalog that I have, nobody's doing what I'm doing. And that's not taken away from what they do. But I feel like the way that I think, the way that I approach music, the way that I approach instruments is something that they aren't doing.
Yeah, and you got to look at the grand scheme of what you're doing too, which is that again, I use the word integrity a lot because that is the word to explain this. That your integrity with who you are as a person and your music matches. So I've had female artists come on here, and I'm not trying to bash any female artists. I respect everything they do, but there's a lot of contradictory statements and contradictory elements of their music that won't make sense to me. It's like they'll be on talking to me, or they'll talk to me on the phone, or talk to me in person about who they are and what they represent, and then their music will be about the craziest shit, like I'm about to fuck a guy with a dildo, a strap on, and I'm like, what are you? You just came on my couch and told me how you're looking for, people to hear the beauty in your voice and all, all this stuff, and then you're coming on to say, like, there's so much contradiction. It bothers the hell out of me.
And that's because they don't know themselves yet. You have to really know yourself to stick out. A lot of this, it sounds like that music is something that you already hear, and then it's like they come on here and they're a totally different person. That means they're in the studio doing something. They either have people around them telling them to do this, or they're in there thinking like, oh, this person did this, I should do this because that's what's going to happen. And then it still won't stick because that's not who you are. Like you say, it's like a contradiction of who you are as a person don't match.
Yes. And also, one huge fundamental element is the desperation aspect, right? Some people, they feel like they have to make it, or they feel like they need to blow up or whatever. So, like we said earlier, you'll take the fast forward button of sacrificing your integrity to get somewhere quicker. And when they're seeing that sex sells, it's like, okay, let's jump into that bag because that's what's selling right now.
But that's what's happening in life right now. That's when a person chooses to rob someone, to kill someone for something, and not taking the route that, normal people take to get where you're supposed to go, because it's going to take too much time, But then again, you do some shit that's going to take away your time. So it's like you really have to make the right decisions about life in every aspect. And like you say, they choosing that route, but they still in the same spot because that's not who you are as a person. And then that's going to show. Through the music, you could tell confidence through music. You could tell if somebody believes in what they're seeing in music. So if it doesn't reflect, it's not going to, reflect at all in any way.
Yeah. I know we have to close up here in a second, so I was going to ask you a couple more questions. Throughout the entire process of your music career, what's been the most difficult parts, and what's been also the most exciting parts that you didn't ever even dream would come true?
The most difficult part is doing it on my own. The most difficult part is waiting. The most difficult part is knowing that I should be where my gift is going to be, but it's not there now. And the beauty part of it is that I still have the mindset that it's going to be, that I'm always have the mindset that can't nobody fuck with me. So long as you have that, you're gonna still, that's what inspires me to keep going, to like keep being creative.
Yeah.
And learning. Like, this is giving me time to learn. This is giving me time to try new things. This is giving me time to throw shit out there and see, what sticks, what doesn't.
Yes.
This is giving me time to try different tones, to try different, things that aren't as melody based or harmony heavy, and just trying things that's just like nothing behind it. And it's having fun. It's not thinking too much about the response. Sometimes we can get stuck in that, even if we ask somebody like, do you like this? And they were like, yeah. And I'm like, bitch. But it's like, okay, fuck it. I'm going to stick with it. I like it. It might not come out, but it's the point of trying it. So I think it's beauty in everything. It's annoying as fuck.
Yeah.
It's hard to mentally, but you have to learn. You have to read things to help you get through that shit.
Well, you're trusting people too, and you're trusting people that have succeeded at a high level. So it's like sometimes you do have to listen, but finding a way to push forward while still listening is you know what I'm saying. But also with what you said about not over harmonizing or whatever, or repetitiveness in all the songs. Dude, bring back scatting, son. Bring back scat music, son. That beat bop bop up, man. Bring that guy back. That guy was fired. What happened to Scatman?
Who the
What
fuck
happened?
is Scatman?
Yeah, you don't know who Scatman is?
That's a real person?
I'm a scat man.
You don't know the Scatman?
No,
Oh
I got
my
a song
god!
to pull up.
Want me to pull it up?
Yeah.
No, we can't. We're gonna get violated on YouTube. We'll listen to it after.
So he's like, beep, bop, beep, bop, bop.
Oh, okay.
You know
yeah.
what scatting is, though, right?
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know what scatting is. Scatting is fire as hell. But no, this was
I just,
awesome.
need, I just need a beat to do that.
I'm gonna make this happen.
Yeah.
If you're down,
I
because
can
scatting is like,
that's not difficult.
you see this?
It just has to be the music though. These producers are bad. I swear, niggas be sending me shit, and I be like, "Do you even listen to my music? Are you trying to give me something to send to somebody? Like, are we trying not to get offended? Like, and maybe they just, I don't know."
Was it easier when you were working with Royce? Is it easier to find your sounds with the producers and engineers available to you?
No, I don't. That music isn't for me. I adjust to it because it's not like it's his song.
Yeah.
So I'm not going like, no, you should take that out. No, I'm gonna figure out how to make the adjustments to it. And it's not, our music isn't too much different. He has high musicality, like his music is that level. So my music is too, in a sense of like instrumentation and live and everything. So that's not hard. His music is great. It's easy to understand. So it's like it's gonna come to me because I know what's being talked about and shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, when you talk about, let's just we'll end it on this note too. I want to ask about 3 songs, and we'll talk about 3 different genres of your own music that you would really like people to selectively listen to those songs. So we'll take it from the mainstream, your favorite song from mainstream that you want people to hear by you, that you've released or have been a part of, and then rap, and then your own music.
You mean mainstream, like my personal music or something that I've been on?
I've been on, yeah. We'll talk about mainstream productions you've been on that you want people to check out, and then street productions. Well, not to call them street, but rap productions, and then your own productions those songs that you just wish everybody could just check out real quick.
Let's see if I could pick a song from Royce's music.
You got My People.
Yeah, My People Go was cool. I really like Pendulum. I like Pendulum. The one with Benny the Butcher is hard too. One of those. Pendulum or what the fuck is it? Say the pendulum. Damn. What's the name of that shit? With Benny the Butcher. Upside Down. Those two. Industry. Rap. But, I have so many songs with CJ. I liked Sada, but I didn't do that much on it.
Are you kidding me?
Bonnie and Bly was cool. I like Sorrell Inc. And I think I just did backgrounds and shit on that. I like Sorrell Inc. So maybe that one.
Yeah, you had Act 3 too. That was fire.
Yeah, I'm fucking them up on that shit too. I can't wait till it come out. But my music, retro has a great sound to it, but it's not necessarily a consistent sound for me. I fuck with Nectar. I think Nectar is a big one. That is me singing on it. I like my tone on that. I like play a role off of that too. If I could listen to Tone, I like that project, period. Listen to Tone. And that'll be I think that shows my range to an extent. And they'll gravitate to that and learn what they're going to hear from me.
Excellent. I'm going to actually go re-listen to all those tonight.
Yeah.
I already listened to your catalog before. Your fucking music's fire, like I said.
Thank you.
I think everybody, I think when that re-emerge of talent comes back, you're going to be one of the first sought-out people like, oh, shit. There's going to be like a draft in a basketball team, like when you're picking out players, like, oh, shit, grab Ashley.
What's funny is I'm in now, but the space of the industry is numbers. So it's not the music. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's all that shit. So once you figure, I might have to buy all them bitches so they can be like, oh yeah, she's there.
All it is like, okay, right. So social media is a new thing, relatively very new, and like because you can gain a massive following, you can sell bad music now. That's what it's all about, right? So the talented people that are like their integrity is high and they're not gonna post shit just for followers and shit like that. They're always going to be growing very slowly on social media. While the guys who do bullshit get 100,000, 200,000 followers. Now they can sell out a 3-night show, 3-weekend show. They can sell features for $500,000, be iced up, post pictures, and just stay relevant off of that.
But they better capitalize on that shit in 6 months, because after 6 months, that shit going to die down.
Yeah, that's how it works.
Yeah.
That's why they have to keep their flame going by collabing with bigger art, boom, boom, boom. It's like a pattern, rotating pattern.
Yeah.
Well, you're doing it the long way, but the long way is gonna bring fruition because that's like longevity is forever, right? So
the long way is like the way that I need it to be.
Yeah.
Because I don't have time to have motherfuckers fake loving me, and then the shit dying down, because then it's like, y'all not even listening for real. Y'all just listening because other people listening or telling you to listen.
Exactamundo.
So I'm good on all that. My process is going to have me one of the biggest motherfuckers out here.
I know it. I appreciate you being a part of this.
Thank
Ashley
you for
Sorrell's in the
inviting
building.
me. Thank
Of
you.
course.
Thank you.
We're at Parallel Sound Studio, High Low Visuals, Shooting These Productions. We're out. Peace.